It's Crash Bandicoot!
Growing up as a gamer, my first console was a Sega Master System. But after that, I was primarily a Nintendo kid. I had a Super Nintendo, and then I got a 64, a GameCube, and so on. I didn't actually get my first PlayStation system until the PlayStation 3. So naturally, I missed playing all of the Crash Bandicoot games. It never really bothered me that much, and I never really had any interest in Crash whatsoever until the remastered versions were announced last year. And even then, I still thought that Crash kind of looked like a ridiculous mascot and like pretty much just a general idiot. But I couldn't ignore the amount of excitement behind these games being remastered, so let's check it out.
Uh-oh.
The Boisterous Bandicoot. I found it really funny that once the game came out, there were memes and posts popping up everywhere, filled with like broken controllers and people crying in corners and just basically pure hate and rage for the first game. And of course, me being so competitive, it made me just want to play the first Crash even more because I wanted to know what makes this game so hard. And if this game is so hard, why is Crash so beloved? And why are these games so well remembered? And oh man, did I get a big slap to the face. Now, I gotta say, when I first started playing Crash, I thought to myself, it's just a platformer, how hard can it be? Like, everyone's just a bunch of whiny babies. But I'm gonna tell you straight up, Crash isn't necessarily hard, but it's challenging as fuck. To give you an example of how hard the game is, most of the levels, if you don't die and you just run straight through them, you can complete them in like 2.5 minutes max. But every level took me about 15 to 20 minutes because you'll just die like over and over and over and over and over again. Now, if you're going to play Crash, one thing that is a necessity is patience. I can't stress that enough. Get some fucking patience. As you can see with all the footage I put in the review, I die a lot. And it's not just me, I mean, maybe I am just crap at games, but I feel like I've played a lot more games and platformers than most people. But Crash consistently cut off my ass and just handed it to me. I feel like every person who plays this game will die a lot. Fortunately though, when you do die, the game loads instantly, so you don't have to wait. But this, however, is another motherfucking double-edged sword, because since the game loads so fast, you don't have time to calm your blinding rage from death, so you'll just rush and most likely die in the same spot, or just a really sad, pathetic spot. Alright, now I need to talk about the levels in Crash. Each one is unique and memorable. They only really use the same theme maybe once or twice, but it doesn't really matter because each level still feels unique. But the reason they're all memorable is because they're all a pain in the ass. Like, I guarantee every level you'll be like, oh, that's right, this bit. This is the part where I died 1,000 times. Like this bit, for example. And this fucking bit. Alright, I'm sure you get it. There's literally a ton of fucking bits. Like every level, there'll be a spot that you're challenged by. But when you finally get past it and get to the end, you just want to have a damn party. Alright, so, not gonna lie. Mechanically, there's almost nothing wrong with Crash. The only time I ever really thought there was a design flaw was in this level here, where you have to run forward over the bridge because you can't really judge depth perception too well and you'll miss a lot of jumps. But without a doubt, when you die in Crash, 90% of the time, it's your fault. You'll know with almost every death, like you'll know what you've done wrong. Whether it's jumping too early, jumping too late, or just like not holding onto X long enough, or not holding down a direction long enough. But the ironic thing is that since I knew every misstep was my fault, it always just fueled my fire and willpower to want to try harder and just have that one more go. Now, if you're like me and you're a little bit of a perfectionist, you'll want to get the Platinum Trophy. But in order to get the Platinum Trophy, you have to 100% every level. And in order to 100% every level, you need to smash every box as well as getting at least a gold relic in time trial. Now, this pissed me off for two reasons. One reason is that some levels you can't break every box until you get a key at the end of the game that lets you access secret areas, meaning that in some levels it's impossible to get 100% unless you come back later. And it wouldn't bother me so friggin' much if the game didn't rub it in your face with how many boxes you miss. The second reason it pisses me off is that the time trials are incredibly difficult. Don't misunderstand, like I like a challenge, but there's a difference between hard, challenging, and fucking impossible. The only saving grace is that the PlayStation Trophy only requires you to get a gold or higher. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but with the expectations on times that they give you, it's really bloody hard to do. Speaking of bloody hard things to do, if the time trials aren't the hardest thing in the game, the gems definitely take the cake. To break it down, there's about 6 levels in the game where in order to get 100%, you have to play through the level without dying. And there were times doing these where I just wanted to let my dog eat the damn disc. I remember one time I had 1 life left and I was maybe 10 meters away from the end with one last obstacle on my path, and I was like, alright Nick, come on, we've been at this for like 45 minutes just trying to do this one level. We got 10 meters to go. Just remember what Gohan told you.
The first thing you have to do is make yourself completely calm.
Okay, so as I've made painfully aware, Crash is a hard game. And you're probably watching going, oh, this is a terrible review, this looks hard, Nick sucks, I'm never going to play this game. But I shit you not, Crash is probably the most fun I've had with the game all year next to Zelda. I probably sound like a masochist, but I'm serious, like, Crash just has a certain charm to it. Like, the sound effects are so good that it always felt satisfying jumping on boxes and collecting apples. And the music is just so catchy that it will drive you insane, but in a nice kind of way. It's also the perfect adult game because if you have like 10 or 15 minutes spare, you can pop in and progress just by doing a single level. It's fantastic. If you like platformers or you love a challenge, you will fall in love with Crash just as I did. If Splatoon hadn't just come out, I would honestly be trying to get the Platinum Trophy. Also, to put the cherry on the cake, the game comes out in a trilogy box and we picked it up for like $50. And supposedly number 2 and 3 are way better, so hopefully I can get back to this one day because Crash is a hell of a lot of fun and I really want to jump back into this one day soon.